I mean, it's easy to say it in hindsight now to be a Monday morning quarterback, but they shouldn't have been that overconfident. It weren't like the Giants were pushovers. The Giants were 13-3. Now, they got to the Super Bowl in the last second against Frisco. Everyone thought Frisco, because they were 14-2, Frisco that year, that they would beat the Giants. But it wasn't like the Giants were some 9-7 wild card team on a miracle run, man. That was a 13-3 squad. That was a good football team with a coach who had won the Super Bowl before. So, in hindsight, being overconfident was a bad thing. And I'll tell you what, one other thing, too, about this game. If you are, and I know this is going to be a very unpopular opinion among Buffalo sports fans, but if you had an issue with Marv Levy, and I don't think anyone can deny the fact that he was very good at chemistry, very good at keeping this team resilient, hungry, and together. But if your take is he wasn't the greatest coach, then this game was your ammunition. Because, and again, I think some of the guys would admit this, they weren't ready to play that game, at least early on. You know what I mean? They should have ran the Giants off the field in the first half. They nearly did, but they didn't. The defense sloppy, a lot of missed tackles. It just didn't seem like a team that was 100% locked in and focused to me, looking back, even all these years later.
I blame, yes, Marv definitely deserves, blame for that. But I don't even think it's about getting his guys ready or overconfident. He can't, yes, he could have done a better job with it. My issue has always been the offense in that game. Because the Giants, if you watch that game, and they talked about this on Four Falls of Buffalo, the Giants played with 2 defensive linemen and had 9 defensive backs on the field. They should have ran the ball every freaking down, the Bills, because they would have gotten at least 8 yards every time, because it's 5 offensive linemen against 2 defensive linemen. When they handed the ball off to Thurman would get 7, 8 yards. Thurman had 135 yards rushing on 15 carries.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's where I blame Marv, because Marv needs to yell at Jim Kelly, because Jim Kelly's calling all the plays. And Jim Kelly, I blame him a lot for that loss, because he needed to know that this was happening. Holy crap, they're playing 2 defensive linemen against us, and they got 9 defensive backs. Let's hand the ball off every play. And I feel like he kind of figured that out on the final drive, because I remember this, because Thurman had 3 carries on that final drive for 40 yards, because he finally figured it out. Give Thurman the ball, you idiot. And that's where I think they lost a lot. And I get really pissed off sometimes, because I'll see when Kelly does his interviews, and he mentioned this a lot on the 30 for 30, and a few other players did as well, that, hey, we just couldn't get the Giants off the field. That's why we lost. No. You lost because your offense couldn't stay on the field. You lost because you were 1 for 9 on third down. You lost because you didn't hand the ball off enough. You also lost because your offense was geared to not have the ball that much, because you ran the no-huddle offense. That's why the Giants were on the field for a lot, because you kept doing the no-huddle and the Giants ran the ball every play. That's why they lost. I put that more on the offense for not executing, for not realizing that, hey, the Giants have 2 guys rushing the football, 2 defensive linemen on the field, and we're passing the ball or trying to pass the ball.
Yeah, that's very fair.
Look at the box score for that game, and you will see that the Bills had way more pass attempts than rushing attempts, and that's where they failed. And that, to your point, that's where you put it on Marv, because Marv needed to tell Jim Kelly, you need to start handing the ball off since you're calling the plays, or Kelly needed to figure that out. That's why I put the blame on them for that. Yes, the defense, there were some missed tackles. The Mark Ingram 3rd and 13 play, that took 10 years off my life, I'm pretty sure. It was horrible. The tackling was pathetic in that game. But for the most part, they lost that game because they kept trying to pass their way to victory instead of handing the ball off more to Thurman.